Opinions. I'm your host, Michelle, and today we are going to be discussing I knew before I knew. I was heading eastbound in the number 1 lane on Fair Oaks Boulevard. Nothing dramatic, just an ordinary day. I can see there's a motorcyclist coming towards me. He's balanced, centered, the kind of rider you notice because he's present in his body. He's not reckless, not showing off, just riding. Then I see the white sedan coming out of the back lot of an apartment complex. Too fast, no hesitation, no brake lights, no checking left or right, just momentum and ignorance. And before I have a thought, my body says, he is not going to stop. Not a guess, not a maybe, a certainty. So I move. I shift into the number 2 lane. Smooth, instinctive, automatic. Because if that sedan bursts into the street, I'm either the buffer or the witness. And I'm not trying to become part of the wreckage. The sedan shoots out. The driver finally sees the motorcyclist. By then, physics was already underway. The rider does the only thing you can do when death appears imminent. It wasn't graceful. It wasn't Hollywood. It was metal, asphalt, bone, and force, negotiating if he gets to keep living. His helmet flies, his head hits the pavement, and for a breath, I think I've just watched a man die right in front of me. I flipped my truck around. I stopped traffic. I blocked him with the full weight of my F-150. Hazards on. Door open before my tires stop rolling. He's alive, but his leg is wrong. Wrong shape, wrong direction, bone where bone should not be. The screams he makes is not loud. It's deep. A sound pulled from somewhere the body does not want to visit. I ride too. I'm a rider. I know the language of the road through my own skin. The throttle, the lean, the way the world feels different when your whole life hangs on the balance and awareness. I didn't ride for weeks after this because I kept replaying it over and over. If I had been on that bike, what would I have done? He couldn't have seen the sedan. He didn't have a warning. Maybe 3 seconds, probably less. The only thing my mind could come up with was some kind of impossible stunt move, like jumping up on the seat and sliding across the hood like a Hollywood stunt double. But let's be real, most of us don't train for that. Most of us don't get those extra lives. And the sound of his bike hitting that car, that pop, like an aluminum can being crushed under a boot. That sound stayed. I remember yelling, "Go! Just go!" Because the sedan driver, he froze. Like a deer in headlights. 3 open lanes around him, and he just stopped. He stopped in the worst possible place in the worst possible second. And the bike hit him exactly where the universe lined it up. I propped the rider's head up with a shirt. I called 911, and the dispatcher made it sound like it was no big deal. This happens all the time. Maybe it does, but not like this. Not to him, not to me. When the paramedics arrived, I stepped back. He looked at me, and I told him, "You're going to make it." Not because I knew, but because sometimes someone has to anchor the reality a person needs to survive another minute. And then they take him, and the street breathes again. Traffic resumes, and the world pretends nothing happened. But something did. I saw it before it happened, and I moved. Some people think intuition is magic, some kind of psychic trick, something mystical, unreachable. But this was something older. The body knows what the mind hasn't processed yet. The spirit speaks first. Brain translates later. Call it God. Call it instinct. Call it the ancestors who don't want you dying on asphalt today. But when it speaks, you don't argue. You just move. And that's the closest most of us will ever get to grace.